Hello everyone, this is Cindy with Monarch Mom DIY. Welcome to my channel. If you're here for the first time, I hope you'll stick around by hitting that subscribe button and the bell notification as well. Today I am here with 4 more home decor DIYs for Valentine's. This first one is using 2 of these green wreath forms from Dollar Tree, some gray yarn. I show felt and chalk paint, but those are optional. Instead, I decided to use these felt stickers from Dollar Tree. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to make 2 of these, but only 1 on camera. I found my gray yarn at Hobby Lobby. These packages are 99 cents. If you want to take the extra step to chalk paint your wreath form to match your yarn, then you don't have to be as exact when you're wrapping the yarn, but I chose to not do that step. But just to let you know that that is an option to help you completely cover the green color. So I'm taking my yarn, and I will tell you this takes a while, especially to get it to lay flat and have no gaps. But you know, just put on a Netflix show or something and wind your yarn around. So here I am just wrapping my entire wreath with the gray yarn. I only put a dot of hot glue at the very beginning, and you'll see here when I get close to being done, it looks like I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and slide the yarn, making sure I have it secure all the way around, and you'll see that I will in fact have a little bit of a gap that I will need to fill in with the yarn. So this process probably takes about half an hour, I would guess, if you worked on it consistently for that amount of time. You should be able to wrap 1 wreath with the yarn. So here's what it looks like when it's completely wrapped. The next thing I'm going to do is take these felt heart stickers from Dollar Tree, and you can see how I laid them out on top of the wreath, going red, pink, every other. And I have the pink hearts facing into the wreath and the red facing out. Now you'll also notice that I am taking off the white heart and the jewel. I just didn't want that look, so you can save those and use them for another project if you'd like. I'm going around and first putting all the pink hearts down, and then I will do the same to the red. Now these are sticky on the back, but I did go ahead and secure them at the tips and the tops with just little dabs of hot glue so they would not peel off the yarn. The next thing you're going to do is take a little dab of hot glue and secure the end of your yarn. You're going to wrap around the wreath again so that you're making an X on each heart, but right now you're just going to do 1/2 of the X going all the way around. So once you've completed that, go ahead and snip the end of the yarn and secure it with hot glue. And then you'll do the same thing with another piece of yarn, doing the other side of each of the X's, so that this is what your hearts will each look like with an X going across. and then finish this piece of yarn off in the same way. And here you can see I just attached a loop of gingham check ribbon and hung it from this white shutter. For my next project, I'm taking some of these giant Scrabble tiles from Hobby Lobby, some Jenga blocks and wood glue from Dollar Store, and some paint. So these are spare parts that are normally $1.99 at Hobby Lobby in like the ephemera or embellishment area. These were on clearance for 16 cents a piece. I didn't really care what letters they were, just that they were wood. I knew I would do something with them. So the first thing I'm doing on the side with no letter is I'm giving it a coat of Waverly chalk paint in the red color called Crimson, and I'm also doing the edges in the red as well. And while those are drying, I'm taking these 2 scraps of 5-gallon paint stir sticks that I had. They measure about 8.5 inches long, and I'm just going to glue them together. Then I'm going to use some of my Dollar Tree Jenga blocks to make a little rack for my Scrabble tiles. Here I'm just laying them across to see how many I need, and I'm going to end up making 2 lines of 5 Jenga blocks each. So I'm going to center this first line of Jenga blocks, and I'm going to glue them right at the front edge of my paint stir sticks. And once I have my second line of 5 Jenga blocks together, I'm going to stick a Jenga block on its side just to give me my space, and then I'm going to glue this one at the back of the rack. And once that's all dry, I'm going to give it a coat of Waverly chalk paint in the color gray. I really love using gray and white and black mixed in with my Valentine decor. And while I'm painting this, I will say if you can't find these larger Scrabble tiles, you could maybe use just some square pieces of wood in the wood piece area, like at Hobby Lobby or Michael's. I've also seen a larger version of this using coasters as the Scrabble tiles. So once my 4 Scrabble tiles are dry, I'm just going to use some sandpaper and kind of roughen up the edges and give it a little bit of a worn look. I decided to make these tiles 2-sided, so I'm going to make a soft pink for the back. I have some of my white chalk paint, and I'm adding just a little bit of pink acrylic paint to make a thicker paint for this back side. And while my pink tiles are drying, I am going to add a little bit of a buffalo check ribbon across the front and back of my rack just to give it a little more character. And I'm just going to use a little bit of sandpaper if any of the pink got onto the red, and just finish giving these a little bit of a rustic farmhouse look by sanding some of the edges. Next, I'm taking some of these white letter stickers and I'm going to spell love on the red side of my Scrabble tiles. And with my white paint marker, I will add the Scrabble values from these letters. L, O, and E are all worth 1 point, and V is 4 points. Once those are completely dry, I'm using some of my matte finish Mod Podge from Dollar Tree to seal the front with the paint and also to make sure the sticker does not come off. On the pink side, I decided to spell XOXO, and seeing how they turned out at the end, I would do red letters on this side if I could go back and do it again. So, of course, you can do whatever color letters you'd like. I, on this light pink, should have done red, but oh well, next time. And here's how the Scrabble tiles turned out with the love side and the XOXO. For my third DIY, I'm using one of these pennant signs from Dollar Tree, some ribbon, some tape, 2 colors of chalk paint, and some red stiff felt and red regular felt. The first thing I'm going to do, there's just a little bit of glitter on the front of this sign, is I'm going to sand that off. I'm going to give the front, and then once that's dry, the back of this sign 2 good coats of Waverly chalk paint in the color white. Next, I'm tracing this heart on my stiff red felt. I got this cute sign from Dollar General for $1, but I loved the shape and size of it for this project. Next, on my regular red felt, I'm just tracing a bunch of circles about 2 to 3 inches in diameter. I need a variety, and the great thing about this project is they do not have to be cut out perfectly. Once my sign is dry, I'm taking just a roll of washi tape from Dollar Tree. I found this to be the best amount of stickiness, and I'm just going to use the process you see here to create stripes on my sign. Now with all my tape down, I'm going to go between the tape now and do some gray stripes using mineral chalk paint. And of course, this is the most satisfying step in painting this, is peeling off the tape and seeing the gray and white stripes. So while my sign finishes drying, I'm going to show you how to take these felt circles, and now we're going to make them into little rosettes. Starting on the outside, you're going to cut a spiral moving towards the center of the circle. Then once you get there, you're going to start rolling up the spiral kind of into a flower shape. So for this project, we're going to make a bunch of these rosettes. I just kind of started making them in different sizes, and then towards the end saw if I needed any more and how big or small I needed. Once my sign was dry, I went ahead and hot glued the big red heart that I cut from the stiff felt right in the center of my sign. Then I started laying out the rosettes, trying to get them to all fit in like puzzle pieces to completely fill in this red heart. So once I had a plan of where I thought all the rosettes were going to go, I just started hot gluing them in. And here's how it turned out with all the rosettes making up the big red heart. I did have 2 leftover rosettes, so I decided to put those at the top left and right corners of my sign. I made a little hanger on the back with this thin 3/8 inch buffalo check ribbon from Hobby Lobby. Then I took some little pieces of, I believe it's called a spider plant from Dollar Tree, just to give those top 2 rosettes some little leaves for an accent. And my last step for this project is to add my word. I thought about different words I could add, but I just loved the script on this heart again. So I tried to copy it first with a pencil and then with a red paint marker. And here's how this project turned out. I absolutely loved it and had a lot of fun my first time making felt rosettes. For my final project today, I am making one on camera, but 2 porch pots using these pots from Dollar Tree, floss, ribbon, the big red felt hearts, 2 plant stakes, and some heart picks. The first thing I'm doing is on this black foam board is I'm tracing my heart, and then I'm going to cut it out and hot glue it to the back of my felt heart. I did this so that the cute design would show up better and also to give my heart some more stability at the top of the plant stake. I'm attaching the felt heart to the foam board just by putting some hot glue in spots where there's a lot of red felt. Next, I got a package of these cardboard glitter hearts from Dollar Tree. You get 5 in the package, 1 really big one, 2 medium, and 2 small. I decided to put a medium heart in the center of each of my felt hearts. So for each of my porch pots, I need 2 of these floral foam bricks. This one I'm going to cut this way, so that I make 2 closer to square sizes, and I'm going to hot glue these into the bottom of my pot that I spray painted black. Next, I'm taking my plant stake and I'm going to use some packing tape and tape it really well to the back of my heart. Once that's securely on the stake, I'm going to stick it down into the floral foam. Now this brick of floral foam I'm going to cut the long way in half. Once I have put some newspapers into the pot just to fill some space, I'm going to lay these on top. My next step is to take this floral moss from Dollar Tree, and with a little bit of hot glue, I'm going to glue it down to the top of the floral foam and then fill in some of the spaces around the outside. My Dollar Tree did not have the heart picks out yet, so I got 6 of these packages from Walmart for 98 cents each. Each pack has 2 large red hearts, 1 small red heart, and 2 small either white or pink. So I'm splitting these up in half for each of my pots, but I don't even end up using all of them. So now with a little bit of hot glue, I'm just going to start poking in these heart picks to kind of fill in the garden at the bottom of the pot here. So you could completely leave this as it is, but I'm going to add a string of these star LED lights that I used a couple videos ago for my winter village. And they do take 3 AA batteries, but they have 8 different ways that the lights can go. So once I got it unwound from itself, I started with the pack behind the pot and just kind of went around and inside the middle of the heart picks till I got to the end of the wire. I did go ahead and put a piece of packing tape at the back just to kind of hold the cord in place for the battery pack. And the last thing I'm going to do is take some of this wired edge ribbon from Dollar Tree and just tie a knot around the pot. I thought about also adding a bow, but then I decided I liked it just with the knot and the 2 ends hanging down. And here it is. I'm super excited to make my second one to put on my front porch for Valentine's Day. Well, that's it for these 4 Farmhouse Valentine Decor DIYs for today. I'd love to hear your comments below of what you liked, maybe ideas for how you might modify these decor DIYs. And of course, I will see you guys in my next video. Take care and stay warm.